Student Production Awards. We are V89.1 The Roar. Good morning, Nova Nation. Here's what's in store for this Friday's Morning Roar. It's the weekend before Thanksgiving, and we describe the perfect dinner spread and throw around some holiday hot takes in our Twitter poll question. Kylie Horan and Justice Dolan will join us at 8:30 to discuss the VU Student Theater Production 12th night. In sports, it's a crucial battle of the blue matchup for Villanova football as they travel to Delaware tomorrow. And plus, there are big matchup for the men's and women's basketball teams this weekend. We'll preview all the action. The Morning Roar is also being broadcast live on WXVU's YouTube channel. Good morning, everybody. My name is Chris Kokinos.
I'm Mike Obershaven.
I'm Nick Williams.
I'm Talene Postian. And here with our Morning Roar news update. Our first story, Sean Diddy Combs was accused in a lawsuit Thursday of subjecting R&B singer Cassie to a years-long relationship that included beatings and rape. Cassie, whose legal name is Cassandra Ventura, alleged in a suit filed against the producer and music mogul in New York federal court that Combs brought her into his ostentatious, fast-paced, and drug-fueled lifestyle not long after she met him and signed to his label when she was just 19 and he was 37 in 2005. Attorney Ben Brafman said Combs vehemently denies the allegations. A Delaware County man has admitted to using a pen camera to secretly record females in fitting rooms at stores in the King of Prussia Mall and to secretly recording a former romantic partner without her consent. 29-year-old Joseph Michael Stevenson, 29, of Upper Darby Township, pleaded guilty in a Montgomery County court to multiple misdemeanor counts of invasion of privacy in connection with incidents that occurred between January 15th and July 3rd, 2021. At Mall in Upper Marion at his Upper Darby residence. Stevenson, who remains free on bail pending sentencing, faces a period of probation on charges under an agreement reached with prosecutors.
Thank you, Talene. And now it's time to go into our first discussion topic of the day. With Thanksgiving just right around the corner, what's your ideal Thanksgiving dinner spread? And can you maybe recall a really awkward Thanksgiving dinner? Mike, let's start with you.
I have a story. So, ideal Thanksgiving dinner spread, I think, is just the classic one. Turkey.
Yeah.
Mashed potatoes, the mashed sweet potatoes with the marshmallows. I don't know if that's
I don't think that's a class. That seems pretty unique. I've never heard of that.
Sweet potatoes
You've
with the
never
marshmallows.
heard of that?
Over there?
No.
I feel like it's a little bit
that's a
contemporary,
staple of
but it's
Halloween.
a staple. I agree.
So it's sweet potatoes and marshmallows?
On top
Yeah,
with lots of like brown sugar.
That sounds awesome.
It's delicious.
it is.
Okay.
It is.
Got to get the family to try that, but
Yeah.
continue.
Stuffing. My mom makes rice stuffing instead of bread stuffing, but it's
Oh.
really good.
Okay.
What else is there? I don't really do cranberry sauce.
No, I'm not a fan.
I love
Um,
cranberry sauce, but only when it's in the literal can. Like they slice it up and there's no fruits to be seen. That's my
Like when it's
favorite.
still Jell-O?
Yes.
Like that. That's actually surprisingly how my girlfriend is too.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Because it's good.
I guess so.
And what's your
But-
really awkward Thanksgiving dinner story? Since
Okay.
evidently you might have one.
It's not necessarily awkward, but I was definitely frustrated by it.
Yeah.
So it was Thanksgiving at my cousin's house, who actually live up in Long Island. But we were all sleeping over, basically my entire extended family. First, in the beginning of the day, my cousin comes in, and like as soon as he arrives, he's like, "Oh man," because he was in puberty, so he was like smelling bad.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
And-
I like how you frame
Wonderful.
that.
Yeah. So he carried a Axe body spray with him. Huge mistake.
Oh,
because
classic.
He fully Axe bombed the den,
No.
and it was right next to the kitchen. So everyone started
No.
yelling at him as soon as it seeped in. So I guess that could be the awkward part. But later in the night, we all had dinner already. I think dessert was just coming out, and they had 3 dogs. They were the crusty white kind.
No.
And one of them's name was Benny. And Benny was the oldest. He was starting to develop cataracts. And so at the beginning of dessert, my cousin who lived there, she was like, "Where's Benny?"
Where was Benny?
Now, I'm not going to go into details,
Oh no.
but I'm going to cut to 5 hours later. I was walking the streets of the neighborhood
Oh my God.
looking for this dog.
I thought it died.
I am
thought you were
I am
about to say
hailing
that.
down cars. I'm like, if you see a small white fluffy dog, just come back here. I don't know. Like I don't have a
Scoop
number.
it
I was
up.
like young, so I'm like, I don't have a number to give you. Like, and then my mom, it was like 11:30, and my mom was like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, I'm just in the neighborhood.
Was she not also looking?
She was looking.
Okay.
But she was like, "Come back."
Yeah.
And we were just about to give up, and then my aunt went downstairs. We had already checked the basement, by the way, and we just hear from upstairs, "Benny?" I've never been more furious in my life. I've never, like, we could have saved 3 hours.
Wait, so
here.
Benny was in the basement
Benny
the whole
was
time?
in the basement. He was hiding under a couch
The whole time.
the whole time.
That's a wild scene.
Yeah.
See, that's still better than what I thought the story was going to be. Because you start with like the dog is getting ill and old.
Yeah,
And then we couldn't find him.
Mhm.
And I was like, there's only one answer here.
So still a very positive ending to the story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Nick, how about you?
I don't think I have an awkward story per se. I mean, most of my Thanksgivings are pretty like run of the mill.
Okay.
Some family comes over, some doesn't.
What's your ideal spread for the Thanksgiving dinner?
My mom uses a lot of stuff from Stonewall Kitchen. If you're familiar with the brand of food stuff,
Okay.
like seasonings and stuff like that. So
Got
it's very like picturesque looking. The
Very
turkey
nice.
looks perfect. The mashed potato look perfect. I am here to argue for fresh cranberry sauce because that
you don't
stuff-
like the Jello out of the can?
No, because here's the thing. I'm also a fan of like pulp in my orange juice and chunky
Okay.
peanut butter. So I like
So
to have
you're
all
not
the bits.
making a case for yourself as a good food.
I mean, here's the thing.
expert.
It's fresh. It's nice and like tart. It's sweet.
Neither of those things are fresh.
I'm sorry, but good cranberry sauce has to be fresh. Has to be like made.
So you're saying
Yeah,
you go
yeah.
get the
Made
fresh
cranberry sauce?
cranberries and then you make the sauce? That's
Yeah,
what you're saying? Okay.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. You don't get it from the can. You get.
I didn't
the
even know
cran-
that could happen. I thought it
How
was
do you
like
think they make
100-year-old
cranberry
fermentation
sauce?
process or something.
Yeah,
I thought
I
it
have
had to be in the can.
There's only one way this is done, and
Yeah.
it's out of the can.
The recipe is secret, only known to the higher ups.
Oh, of course, of course. Talene, how about you?
I don't love Thanksgiving dinner just because, now hear me out, I am someone who would love a large holiday feast, and I do usually like every other holiday of the year. But
Mhm.
I just don't really like turkey, and I don't really love like the sweet potato with marshmallows. I just don't like a lot of the like classic sides
Okay.
of this holiday.
Yeah.
So, but then again, I love pumpkin pie. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
I love pumpkin pie. That's going to be my favorite, and I'm going to make it for my family this year. So I'm excited about that.
That should be fun. So no awkward stories at Thanksgiving?
No, I have more Christmas ones, but we can do that at a later date.
We'll get
Yeah.
to those. We'll get to those. My ideal Thanksgiving spread is probably the classics. I've never done the marshmallow thing, but I think I would add that now. Now knowing about it, I would definitely add the marshmallow and sweet potatoes. But awkward situations at Thanksgiving dinner, I don't really have that many. I mean, like politics always comes up, and that's kind of entertaining. But besides that, that's it. You know.
I love bringing up Trump to my grandma.
Basically to my entire family. Always entertaining.
Does she love when you do that?
Oh, yeah.
Does everyone else at the table love when you do that?
Possibly nobody.
So, Mike, why don't you take us into our Twitter poll question, very much tied up with the Thanksgiving questions that we've been talking about here today.
Yes, absolutely. So we have, what is your favorite holiday? our options are Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, and New Year's.
So, Mike, what are you going with?
I think. I mean, I like Christmas, but I think Thanksgiving's got to be my favorite.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's an unpopular opinion.
But don't you? Here's my thing. When people say Thanksgiving is their favorite, don't you do the same thing on Christmas? You have a big feast with your family, but then there's more festiveness to go on. You know, we
More
got the
decorations,
music, more
more music.
decorations. It's just a lot more
Better
fun,
food.
better food. You know, you're doing the
think
same
so.
thing on Christmas, but more.
Well, I have the same food I have on Christmas on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
As in addition to the turkey and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So what makes it unique? That's what we're asking.
I think I appreciate no fanfare.
Okay.
I think I
You're a
like it.
simplistic
Just
guy.
political
Simplistic.
discussions with your grandma.
Well, I do it at Christmas too.
Yeah.
But like,
Nick, how about you?
I feel like all four of these holidays are the same essential thing, just dressed differently, right? Because you all have, I think you kind of have the same set of people over.
Religion isn't real.
Religion is real, but but I also just kind of hate all these holidays from my social perspective for their different reasons. And I would say New Year's Eve, I guess, because there's no real basis for just other than just kind of hanging out and see the ball drop.
So there's like expectations that you don't love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, makes sense.
Understandable.
Colleen, how about you?
I love Christmas because I love all of the like fanfare leading up to it. Like my family goes all out. We decorate everything. It takes like a week to do. I really like that. I think it's fun. And
So-
no turkey.
When do you start playing Christmas music?
Oh, like I am already doing it. I am
Okay.
studying to like, do you know like the Peanuts movies?
Yeah.
I study to like that soundtrack right now.
That's awesome.
It's
No,
very
I'm a
fun.
big start Christmas music right after Halloween.
Mm.
So we're right in the thick of it. So Christmas is definitely my favorite holiday for the exact same reason. There's just more stuff to do, more
Mhm.
fanfare. I mean, especially here, we got like the Christmas Village that
That's
Villanova puts on.
Very fun.
What do they do for Thanksgiving, Mike?
What do they do
no
for New
answer.
Year's?
they changed,
Nothing.
They changed the dining hall option.
So with that, Mike, how about you take us into the birthdays coming up this weekend?
Yep, you got it. So, turning 81 today. Ooh, happy birthday to Martin Scorsese. 79 is Danny DeVito. Turning 79 also is Lorne Michaels. Tomorrow, Oscar Nunez turns 65 and Owen Wilson turns 55. On Sunday, Calvin Klein turns 81, Meg Ryan turns
That's a real person.
62, and Jodie Foster turns 62. Well, yeah, it's got to be a design. Like Louis Vuitton was a real person. So was Gucci.
And Colleen, what's going on with WXVU?
For our week's news for WXVU, our featured show of the week is Toontown, hosted by WXVU music director MK Coolican, every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Enjoy 90 minutes of classic hits with artists like ABBA, Sinatra, Billy Joel, Bob Dylan, and more. That's Toontown, Sundays at 11:30 a.m., only on V91 The Roar.
Thank you, Colleen. You're listening to the Morning Roar right here on WXVU 89.1 FM. We're going to be taking a quick break, so stay tuned for more after this.
Hey, I'm Avery Stout. I'm the Philadelphia music coordinator for WXVU, and you're listening to 89.1 The Roar.
Hi, everyone. This is WXVU Sports Director David Shapansky. Join me on Thursdays at 12 p.m. for the all-new Villanova Sports Talk, a 30-minute live show dedicated to just Villanova sports with analysis and opinions. You can also listen on demand on our podcast feed this Thursday and every Thursday right here on WXVU 89.1 The Roar.
Villanova's theater department invites you to Posterity, their newest production. In a captivating collage of stories, from the Civil War to 9/11 and up to the present moment, three families seek connection, meaning, and solace through the modern miracle of photography. Award-winning playwright Wendy McLeod brings to life intimate snapshots of parents, children, siblings, and lovers, brilliantly capturing the universal longing to freeze time and cling to those we hold dear. On stage November 8th through 19th in the Court Theater at the Mullen Center. Tickets are free for Villanovans on Wildcard Wednesday and just $10 to $15 for all other dates. For more info on this ACS-approved event, visit villanovatheater.org/posterity.
Welcome back to the Morning Roar right here on WXVU 89.1 FM. And now it's time for our 3-day weather forecast for the main line. Enjoy maybe the warmest remaining day of the year today with sunshine and a high of 66 degrees. Clouds will build tonight with a chance of a shower, a low of 49. Partly sunny skies Saturday, cooler, a high of 52 degrees, and mostly sunny Sunday, which we will top out at 54 degrees. The current temperature outside of our Daugherty Hall studios on the campus of Villanova is 48 degrees. And now let's go to Tallene with our second Morning Roar news update.
Some Tredyffin Township residents expressed concern about deer roaming around residences. Supervisor Sharon Humble said at Monday night's township meeting. Humble assured the residents that township contracts with hunters every year who help cull the deer population in the region existed. The township has authorized bow hunting by the Chester Valley Deer Management Association and the Stony Run Archers Association in 8 parks around the township. Valley Forge National Park, which is located in Tredyffin, Schuylkill, and Upper Marion townships, has a white-tailed deer management program from November to March. That's sick. I like that happens.
I want like my government issued bow and arrow, please.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the Hunger Games for the deer every so often. Can you imagine a world where everyone is not walking around with a smartphone attached to their hand
Impossible.
or ear or pocket? That's exactly what the future might hold if the startup Humane has anything to do with it. The AI pin released last week is a futuristic but in some ways prehistoric phone that sells for $700 and requires a monthly $24 subscription. Humane is one of a number of companies trying to replace the smartphone with screenless devices that rely on providing voice points to ultra-intelligent chatbots. What it does have is a camera and microphone that ingest information like a glorified search engine. It clips to your shirt and is run by an AI-powered operating system. But what about that no screen thing? An AI pin lacks a screen and a keypad. It uses lasers to project information onto your hand while the AI pin attaches to your shirt. Other companies are experimenting with similar devices in the form of a pendant and Ray-Ban smart glasses. This sounds stupid.
It sounds
looking
so
at pictures of
dumb.
it right
It sounds
now.
so dumb.
This is just a flip
Oh, Mike's
phone.
about to be like, this is amazing.
Kinda sick.
It's literally just a flip phone with like a computer inside.
And it projects on your hand. We're
That's
doing too
stupid.
much. We're doing too much. There's
Also,
no
I'm
reason
still
for
just
that.
gonna be looking at my hand.
Yeah,
It'll look even dumber.
yeah.
We can just carry a piece of cardboard around.
That is the solution to all of the problems with this device.
Yeah,
You're right.
No one's gonna buy this.
This is so stupid. And does the $24 a month subscription include anything like cell service or? I'm very upset with this product. I think it's
Yeah,
stupid.
do you have to buy extra cell service on top of
Probably.
the $24 monthly subscription?
on top of the $700 upfront payment?
I mean, the $700 when if we're looking at getting a new iPhone,
Like
like
a
you
new
can
iPhone
get
is
this,
$1,500.
AI
But
laser
all
pin
you can
for
do
your
on this
hand.
is call things, take pictures, and have it be a little projector.
It's essentially a fancy Apple Watch.
I think it's
Yeah.
a less fancy Apple Watch. It doesn't
Yeah.
even have a freaking screen.
Well, the screen is your hand.
But that's so
Can I click my
stupid.
hand?
Or the
I
piece
guess.
of cardboard that you carry around.
Why-
We gotta get you on the
Just
phone with
carry
these
around the
people.
phone. Just carry around the phone, Mike.
Nah. And no one's gonna get rid of their phone to get this. Is
No.
the other thing. You can't write an email on your AI pin. This is just going to add to a cluster of things that you have to charge. And it's
true.
stupid.
Yeah.
I just love the idea of like, oh, let me send a text. that.
But
Like,
it's
can you watch a-
lasers. You can't even do that.
Well,
it's
it's
just
all
a
dictation,
projection.
probably.
Can you scroll like Instagram on your
Oh,
on this
boy.
device?
Yeah.
Like,
The point is no.
well, what's the point of this? If you can't do all of the things that a phone is supposed to do, why are you getting this?
I really
This is a
promote people
downgrade.
like unplugging, getting a flip phone if they want, but this is not the solution
No.
to the problem of the iPhone
Definitely not
at all.
at all.
Just
Yeah.
get a flip phone. They work fine. My dad had one for a lot of years till like only a couple of years ago, and it worked perfect.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
Should do that.
So
Stupid.
moving on to our second discussion topic of the day, is self-checkout checking out? Apparently the word in the retail industry, excuse me, is that stores should tread lightly these days when it comes to self-checkouts. The backlash against it is growing, and many businesses have made moves to dial back on the technology after it exploded over the past few years. British supermarket chain Booths recently announced that it is removing self-checkout stations in all but 2 of its 28 stores. In the US, Walmart, Costco, Wegmans, and other chains have also revised their self-checkout strategies. Why? They found that self-checkout leads to more losses through customer errors and intentional shoplifting. And what scams are people most often using to beat the system? Common tactics include not scanning an item, swapping a cheaper item, bananas, for a more expensive one, steak.
Don't give me any ideas.
I'm writing these down.
Scanning counterfeit barcodes attached to their wrists.
Where do you
What?
get counterfeit barcodes?
I have no idea. Or even properly scanning everything and then walking out without paying. When you've gone to Giant, Wawa, or your favorite grocery store at home, do you self-checkout? Colleen, we'll start with you.
I use self-checkout at my CVS, which works until every single time it doesn't work, and then I have to click the request help button, and then it dings, and I have to wait 20 minutes for somebody to walk from
Yep.
behind the counter 2 feet away over to me, and then help me like fix my debit card or something. So I think it's working perfectly, and we should keep it forever.
Mike, how about you?
All depends on the line for me.
What do you mean?
Like if there's a long line for self-checkout, but not a long line for any sort of manned station.
So you don't really have like a preference.
No.
Nick, how about you?
I think if self-checkout becomes a thing of the past, I'll have to lose my cool. Not for my own reasons personally. Like I'm okay with I'm okay.
He's gonna cause a scene.
I'm not for the reasons that like I need self-checkout, but I have friends who are very socially awkward
Yeah.
and just cannot do like interactions like that because they feel like confronted or whatever.
True.
That makes sense.
And I do like going to CVS and having the self-checkout work because I don't have to wait in line.
Mhm.
You know, I don't want to have to take the miles long receipt from the guy who
Mhm.
gives me this look.
I love
like, why did
that.
you have to come here and buy 2 bags of Skittles so I can waste a ream of paper on you? That kind of vibe. So I don't know. I think they're really useful for people that have trouble with social interactions,
Yeah.
and they're just generally quicker.
They should be quicker until you have the issues like Talene was saying. Like every time I go to Giant, they have to come over and enter some special code
Yeah.
on the screen.
My mom has some sort of beef with the help person at Costco. Because every time we go, there's always some sort of sass that they give each other. I don't know.
Is it the same person?
Like
It's
the
the same
person,
person.
that like lets you into the store, the person that checks your receipt on the way out.
No, the person that oversees the self-checkout.
They have self-checkout at Costco.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
have
went
never seen
yesterday,
that.
and I was actually
It's-
kind of
it's
shocked they don't have that
relatively
on my
new.
one at home. I was kind of confused as well because like the whole point of like Costco's checkout area, I've like seen it happen. It's like if you go and you have like a cart full of stuff, you might have kids with you or something. The best part of any like parent at Costco is when you check out that cart and you stick your kids on it and then you walk around to the other
Yes,
side and you
yes.
push the cart that side and you're like, oh, okay, like how would you like to pay? Blah blah. But then the like the person checking out also watches your kid for 30 seconds,
Yeah.
and I think that that's beautiful and needs to remain.
When I was a kid, I would always freak out. I'd be
yeah,
like, "They
I was
leave me."
terrified. But now I recognize that it's necessary for my mother's peace of mind.
for 30 seconds
Mhm.
to get rid of you.
Yes.
But self-checkout at Costco, that's got to be a problem because they don't really check your receipt.
I love how they check our receipt.
They
He
just
goes,
like
hello.
they look at it and they highlight it and they walk out. It
Walk
takes
away.
3 seconds.
Mhm.
They do not look at all. So I feel like a lot of people are going to be stealing from Costco now.
Yes. And with all the great ideas we just gave everyone,
Gave them the
Yeah,
tool.
it's gonna
They told them
true.
not to do it.
Well, anywho, let's go to the Morning Roar Mind Bender. So the updated standings: Mike is with 5 points. Nick, you've got 2. Becky, she has 2. I don't know if she has the chance to, make up that ground. And Talene, you have 1 point. We've got to, get you more on the board now.
Thank you for the motivation.
And anytime. So, without further ado, here is the Morning Roar Mind Bender. Originally cultivated by Native Americans, it can be used as fuel for cars. It's also painful on your toe or fun when watching movie stars. What is it?
Corn.
That was outrageously easy.
Yeah.
That was insanely easy.
Love me some biofuels,
That is not a brain teaser.
That is not a brain
basic
teaser.
trivia.
Nick Langen, we're calling you out for this question. That was awful. You gotta increase the difficulty on that one, big man.
Hold on. I'd like to donate my point to Talene over here.
I don't think that's allowed.
I can't.
We can't do that.
Darn.
But Nick, you now have 3 points to Mike's 5
You're
points.
catching up.
Talene, I'm sorry. You have 1
Thank you
point.
for the public apology. That made everything really better.
This is the Morning Roar right here on WXVU. We're going to be taking a quick break, so stay tuned for more after this.
What's going on, everyone? I'm AJ Malo, the host of Thoughts of Yesterday with AJ, and you are listening to WXVU V89.1 The Roar.
Ugh. I'm setting another timer for 30 minutes. Ugh, I'm so tired. What time is it? Ah, I have to go to class.
Have you ever woken up from a nap like this? Here's some advice, backed by research, to take naps that help you wake up refreshed and sleep at night without trouble. Number 1, keep naps short. Naps should only be 15 to 30 minutes long. Number 2, optimal napping time is between 1 and 4 p.m., but find a time that works for you. Number 3, nap in a quiet, dark, and cool environment without distractions. That means no phones.
Really? No phones?
Correct, no phones. Now you can feel more rested during those tough work weeks.
Happy catnapping, Wildcats. And remember, don't sleep on sleep.
This PSA was brought to you by senior nursing students in the Fitzpatrick College of Nursing, the Office of Health Promotion, and WXVU Villanova Radio.
Is your Villanova organization, event, or initiative looking to get recognized? With our FM signal and worldwide stream, WXVU reaches a campus audience and beyond. We invite you to fill out the WXVU Public Service Announcement submission form, available at psa.wxvu.org. If approved, you'll start hearing your message on WXVU, crafted by our own imaging team. Helping to connect Villanovans, we are V89.1, The Roar.
Welcome back to the Morning Roar right here on WXVU 89.1 FM. And now it is time for our interview segment with Villanova Student Theater, which is a community of artist scholars committed to transforming hearts and minds. To talk more about the VU Student Theater and its ongoing 12th night play at the Mullen Center, we have with us today Kylie Horan and Justin Bedoyan. Kylie and Justin, thanks for spending some time with us today.
Of course. Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, thanks for having
Of
us, Chris.
course. So could you each tell us more about your role with VU Theater and, of course, about yourselves?
I'll start, okay, because I'm current. I'm currently the production manager of Villanova Student Theater, which is a rough job, but it is the catch-all job. So basically what I do as production manager is I make sure that every single aspect of what goes into a show is running smoothly. I'm the calendar guy, essentially. That's basically what you can boil my job down to. Yeah, forget all the hands-on stuff. I just make sure everybody's doing their job on time. Kylie, however, has had many, many more positions, so I'll let her talk about that.
Yeah, I've been around the block a bit more than Justin has with VST. I was previously technical director, which basically meant that the set designer would give me a sketch and I would figure out all the math, which is horrendous because I am not a math person. Anyone who knows me knows I'm like the humanities person. So it was rough. I cried a lot, but I learned a lot and built some really cool sets. And then after that, I was president of the group for a year, which was also a tough position, also a catch-all in some ways, but it was fun being the face for a while. Yeah, so I stepped down this year, and Justin Sport's been doing a really phenomenal job since then.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome.
And what inspired you both to become a VU theater performer?
I have a fun answer for this one,
Oh.
so I'll go first. I was a big theater kid in high school, which is like, you know, just a black, just like a black scourge on your reputation. So I got to college and I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm reinventing myself. like I will not introduce myself to a whole new era of my life as the theater kid again. I was resolved to it, you know. And then I found out that VST was doing Pride and Prejudice. And that is like my favorite book. It's the thing that I was like, I would drop everything and do this show if I ever saw it anywhere. So I applied to set design it. So I ended up doing the set and lights, which was, you know, I was proud of it at the time, but it was just a bunch of chairs, which is very different from what we've done with 12th Night, which is create like a full scale, incredibly impressive, technically complex set. So it was very, very humble beginnings. But yeah, my first show was Pride and Prejudice in fall of my freshman year, just out of love for the play. And then I met the people and it just, you know, changed my life. Like I have friends who graduated that year who are coming tomorrow to see 12th Night, who I still see all the time. So yeah, that was my origin. Justin came a little bit later.
I have a very simple answer. They said, "Do you want to play with swords?" I said yes, and the rest is history.
Was that for last year's show?
Yeah.
Love it. Nick.
All right. So when and how did you first get involved with theater?
Oh, okay. That's a very big history. So I first got involved with theater probably when I was around like 10, and I've been doing it on and off ever since. It really peaked in like investment in theater in high school when I started going to like Yale and Groundlings to study for theater itself, and then that kind of went down the same kind of path Kylie had mentioned before, where I got to college and I was like, I'm no longer a theater person. I'm somebody else now. But then that didn't stick for very long. So I've been pretty much invested in it my whole life.
Yeah, I also got involved pretty young. I think I was about 11. And then very similarly to Justin, my investment grew throughout high school and he was based in Vegas. So we had a bit of a different experience. Me being from New York, I was very involved in the city and I did want to go to college for acting for a little bit. And then one day I was like, you know what? I love this. I don't want to make this my life because then I'm going to hate it. So very, very last minute, I applied to Villanova, but I was serious enough about this that I wanted to do it with my life. So yeah, it's been a good 10 years or so far.
Yeah.
The Mullen Center is one of the most beautiful places on campus. How does it feel to work and perform there?
Oh my gosh, it is such a treat. If you think about the history of the student groups, student theater groups, and where they have been performing, they had their own identity and agency, like in St. Mary's Theater, but nowhere near the amount of resources that we now have with the Mullen Center. We get to pair with their fantastic faculty and staff, along with Villanova Theater Department's faculty and staff, so we have access to all of those brains. It's night and day. It's incredible what we can achieve with a student group paired with all these other resources.
Yeah, we're also very uniquely privileged in that most of our technicians, like Justin, work in the Mullen Center. So you've been working in the shop with Jake, who's head technician, construction guy, basically, for the graduate department. So Justin's built all the sets for the last, 12 grad shows. So we're uniquely equipped that we have sound designers, lighting designers, set designers that really, really, really know their stuff and have good enough connections with the department that we're trusted to do really complicated things that maybe we weren't in the past and maybe other groups are not. So we've developed a really wonderful relationship in addition to getting to use the great facilities. Please start unlocking the doors on the weekends.
Thank you, Mullen. We love you.
Thank you.
Please unlock the doors. So here's a fun question. Do you guys have a favorite play, both from VU Theater and in general?
If you look at our room, it's just covered in plays. Like it's every windowsill, everything. That's an impossible question, Chris. Damn you. It's a good one. Favorite VST play.
You've had more than I have, so.
I love them all for different reasons. I think script-wise, it's probably Treasure Island. Just because it's like just a rollick of a script. It is so fun. It's so well paced. And you get to use cutlasses. Like we had a giant sword with a skull and crossbones. That was Justin's sword. So I love Treasure Island with the script of it. But I'm really, really proud of 12th Night as a production. Like I think it's the most cohesive we've done so far. And favorite play ever? That's like, it's excruciating. Justin, go.
I think my favorite play to read always will be a farce. It's called Sweet Surrender. It is about what happens when you put two divas who hate each other in the same hotel suite, along with their assistants and their dogs. I got to hold a Pomeranian for 2 hours. It was a lovely time.
I think mine might be Outside Mullingar. Yeah, which is about two older Irish people who have like a generational feud over a tiny strip of land between their farms, and they like hate each other the whole time. And at the end, she's like, "Are you gay? Why are you not into me?" And he's like, "No, I thought you weren't into me." And then he's like, "I need to tell you something. I feel like I'm a bee." And she's like, "What?" And then they get together.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes so much sense. Yeah.
The Irish countryside. It really does something to you.
Average Tuesday, you know?
Yeah.
And do you have any starting play suggestions for people who are just starting to get interested into theater?
Not the ones you just mentioned.
Yeah, that's a hard launch. Yeah, that's an awesome question. Honestly, anything can be a good entry point for theater if you see it. Like there's not a lot of plays that I would recommend just reading because they tend to not be super accessible because that's not what they were intended for. Like even Shakespeare, people think it's like super lofty and ye olden times and you're going to hate it. But if you see it well done, that can actually be a really great entry point too. I think there's a lot of things, contemporary plays that reflect people's interests. Like we saw a comedy in New York a few months ago called Dracula, a Comedy of Terrors, which was just phenomenal and ridiculous and hilarious. And everybody kind of knows Dracula, so it's fine. Puffs is a play that I hate, but I respect that it's about Hufflepuffs. It's about Harry Potter. So I respect that a lot of people are going to love that. Jersey Boys musical. Everybody loves Frankie Valli. I think there's absolutely no shame in popular things. Mamma Mia.
Yeah. I think it's hard to recommend a play as a starting point, but from me, I think it's better to look at different writers because they all have different writing styles. Like somebody like Samuel Beckett, I would never recommend to a person getting into plays, or Bertolt Brecht. I would more so say read a Tennessee Williams, read a Shakespeare, Amy Herzog, Amy Nguyen. Or maybe even Sarah Kane or Sarah Rule. But these are all fantastic writers, and their writing style is very accessible to people who are more akin to writing or reading novels or short stories and things like that. So I would say that those are a much better place for starting readers of plays.
Yeah, and one more thing I'd say is go to a bookstore and ask someone. Yeah, especially like if you're near New York ever, the Drama Bookshop has people that are literally just there to tell you what plays are good. So ask.
Very cool. So are there any upcoming events from the VU Theater that the Villanova community should look out for?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Well, 12th Night is currently still running. We are going to be running the rest of this week till Sunday, and we will have another run after Thanksgiving break, starting on November 30th and going to December 3rd.
And we have a director talk back.
Oh, yes. And we do
On
have a
November
director talk
30th. So if you want to stick around after the show and to ask us about anything about the show, sort of
Oh.
like we're doing right now. And there will also be 3 PhD Shakespeare scholars in the audience. So they could be good people to chat with too if you have an interest in that.
Yeah. And then after that, we have our auditions going straight into it for our spring production of Amadeus by Peter Schaefer. If any of you have seen the movie, it's basically the movie, but on stage. So I think that is very epic. That is the big one that's coming up this semester.
Yeah, Amadeus is the story of Mozart and his rival Salieri. And there's, poisonings. And it's a fascinating text directed by one of our own, Dominic Wiersbicki. It's his first time. So very, very exciting. And then towards the end of the semester, we get into talks about what people want to see for next season. So if you have a play that you like, check out our Instagram, Villanova Student Theater. There will be a form, inevitably. Submit something. If there's literally anything you're interested in, they'll veto it if they can't do it. But we've sort of reached new heights with our technical capacity and our actors' ability. That's part of the reason we've done so much Shakespeare, is to give our actors a really solid foundation in the classics so they can sort of do anything now. So
Nothing is unattainable.
Nothing is unattainable.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
So tell us more about 12th Night.
Go for it.
12th Night. So the vision for 12th Night, well, first of all, it's a Shakespeare comedy. So the plot of 12th Night is basically that a young woman, Viola, is shipwrecked in the original text. Not so much in our adaptation, but we'll get to that. So Viola is separated from her twin brother, Sebastian. She believes he's dead. He believes she is dead. So she finds employment with the Duke Orsino by dressing up as a man. And he sends her on a whole bunch of wacky errands, and there's so many subplots. But the main plot is that, meanwhile, Sebastian is alive, and he's taken up with a man named Antonio. Similar thing, and chaos and hijinks ensue when Viola and Sebastian encounter each other at the end, and they're dressed the same. So no one has realized that they are 2 separate people the whole time as they've been interacting with each of them. So our idea began in May when we...
Is this She's the Man?
Yes, it is She's the Man.
Whoa!
Yes, yeah, no, it's She's the Man.
Crazy, right? It's amazing how many different adaptations there are of these stories.
Yeah,
That's so fun. Okay, I was just Googling that.
So glad you brought that up.
Those names sound very similar.
Yes, Talene makes an excellent point. It is She's the Man. There's also another movie of 12th Night with Helena Bonham Carter. It's great. So our adaptation of 12th Night, we started thinking about it in May. So it's been cooking for a bit, about 6 months now. It sets the entire play in a 1940s jazz club. So we take Duke Orsino's palace, which is kind of lofty in an ambiguous space. We make it Orsino's, a jazz club. So it's essentially set in New York, Detroit, Chicago, metropolitan-ish area.
Ambiguous city.
Yeah, in the mid-1940s. And we did set it in December because 12th Night is originally a Christmas play. And we're really lucky that our season is going up between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it's a really great time to kind of capitalize on that holiday spirit for everyone. So lots of fedoras, lots of fun coats. Yeah, Justin, do you want to say a little bit about how you worked on the set?
Oh, yeah. So we started with the idea of listening to the music and wanting to build a world off of music. And that inspired us to think, oh, what if we had, a record player? And that expanded into idea, what if the stage was a record player?
Oh.
Which then became the current idea for the stage, which is a revolve, which fits multiple sets in this small space, which is the first revolve that VST, VTD, or the Mullen has ever had in their space, which is an incredible triumph for us, and it's a very fun opportunity for everybody now who gets to use it. So if anybody gets to play on it, please do. I had a hand in building it. It's very fun. But so we figured that out. We wanted that immediately. We cemented that idea. And then now that we had the time period, the music, and the idea, we just started building scenes and sets. What would Duke Orsino's jazz bar look like? Is deep reds and golds and blacks and things like that. Olivia's penthouse is complete opposite with forest greens and whites and grays and things. And our exterior scene is our favorite because we have included so much fun Shakespeare Easter eggs on the set. So if anybody comes to see it, just keep an eye out. You will see it.
Yeah. And if you'd like to add Shakespeare graffiti, we'll give you a Sharpie.
Yeah.
It has to be Shakespeare graffiti.
Yeah,
though.
and we'll let you put it onto the set.
Yeah. So if anyone doesn't know what a revolve is, basically it spins. So like actors can stand on it and the set will just start turning in front of your eyes. Yeah, so
That sounds awesome.
It's really cool, and I want to give credit to our crew. We have an incredible crew of backstage people who kneel on the ground and they spin that thing like their life depends on it, which is a huge feat with multiple over 100-pound adult bodies on it, and couches and a phone booth and bars, and yeah.
It spins by people underneath it pushing it.
It's people holding the edge of it and turning it.
I thought this thing was motorized.
Okay,
Mike, do you want to give us the money for a motorized?
We had a set budget for the set. I couldn't fit motorized in there.
No, and actually, in all seriousness, though, it is great to have more people involved in the organization. Because if you don't want to be an actor or a director or a costumer or whatever it may be, it's really wonderful to have run crew as an option if people are interested in dipping their toes or if they just like that. We have seniors who've done that all 4 years because they just love it.
You be the guy that spins the revolve.
Yes.
Be the guy.
And you can now be the first guy that spins the revolve. The first to have hands on it.
So how can people get tickets to come see this show?
There are so many posters all around campus with our QR code to our ticket link. You can also just stop by the Mullen Center to the box office whenever they're open and just go, hey, I want tickets. And they'll be like, of course, here you go. They're $8 for students and $10 for faculty and parents, everybody else, which is, I think, very good.
Yeah, you can also just Google Villanova student theater tickets, and it'll take you to a link that's like Mullen Center, and then you click Mullen Center events, and then student performing arts, and then you'll see 12th night. We also have an Instagram, so link in our Instagram bio as well. And if you just know anyone in the show, like feel free to reach out to them, reach out to us. Yeah, get your tickets now though, because we sold out last night, and last time we did a show in this space, we sold out every night. So 12th night isn't quite as popular as Macbeth, but we think that it should be because it's great.
Awesome. Well, I cannot wait to see it. Kylie, Justin, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us on.
Make sure to check out 12th Night on stage through December 5th in the Performance Lab at the Mullen Center for the Performing Arts. For more info, visit mullencenter.org. You're listening to The Morning Roar right here on WXVU 89.1 FM. We're going to be taking a quick break, so stay tuned for more after this.
Hi, I'm Kat Coyle. I'm the Assistant Director for Student Media Programs and the advisor of WXVU, and you're listening to V89.1, The Roar.
Nova Network November registration is officially open. This month-long programming series features topics dedicated to enhancing the professional development of Villanova alumni, parents and friends, as well as current graduate and College of Professional Studies students. All programs will take place throughout November online, on campus, and across the Nova Nation. Wherever you are in your career, there are opportunities for you to grow alongside your fellow Villanovans this Nova Network November. Learn more and register at vuevents.villanova.edu/Nova Network November. The holiday shopping season is a prime opportunity for malicious users to take advantage of unsuspecting shoppers through fake websites, malicious links, and even fake charities. Their goal is simple: get your personal and financial information to compromise your data, deploy malicious software, steal your identity, and take your money. Visit villanova.edu/IT security for some simple actions you can take to stay safe while you shop online. Protect yourself, protect your peers, protect our university. Be cyber smart.
Welcome back to the Morning Roar right here on WXVU 89.1 FM. And now it's time for our weekly sports roundup. First up, it's a massive game for Villanova football Saturday, the Battle of the Blue, as they travel to Newark, Delaware to take on the Delaware Blue Hens. The Blue Hens and Wildcats bring identical 8-2 overall and 6-1 CAA records into the 1 p.m. kickoff. They are tied for first place with Albany 8-3 and 6-1, and Richmond 7-3 and 6-1 in conference play. Albany hosts Monmouth Saturday, and Richmond is at William and Mary. And the ultimate CAA regular season conference championship may have to be decided via tiebreaker through point differential. Too confusing to describe at this ungodly hour of the morning. Suffice to say, the Cats can put themselves in a great position with a win. Amen. The WXVU sports team will have full coverage of the game beginning at 12:30 p.m. on Saturday. Men's basketball is looking to recover after being upset by Penn at the Palestra Monday. The 2-1 Cats take on Maryland tonight as part of the Gavitt Games, with tip scheduled at 8:30 p.m. at the Pavilion. WXVU will have your play-by-play coverage. And the busy weekend for Villanova sports also continues with the women's basketball team, who are 1-1 to start the year. They'll host their first Pavilion game of the year Sunday at 2 p.m. against the Temple Owls. Your home for Villanova sports, WXVU will also have the play-by-play of the women's game on Sunday. Other Villanova sporting events this weekend. Women's volleyball at Providence will be 6 p.m. tonight. Cross-country men's and women's teams are participating in the NCAA championships in Earlysville, Virginia on Saturday. Don't think that's a real city
Like
name.
he has Lazy Town or something.
Yeah, don't be late. Swim will be at WVU Invitational Saturday in Morgantown, West Virginia at 10 o'clock a.m. And women's volleyball is at Connecticut, 6 p.m. on Saturday. Moving into professional sports with NFL Week 10. The Ravens took care of the Bengals on Thursday Night Football 34-20, and the key matchups this week are the Kelsey Bowl and a Super Bowl rematch. Eagles at Chiefs on Monday Night Football. Y'all see the question, right? Like, which Kelsey brother would you rather be? Travis Kelce, current boyfriend of Taylor Swift, or Jason Kelce, animal on the Eagles, overall very wholesome individual.
See, I don't know if this
Almost
is a hot take. Or
people's
not.
sexiest man alive. I'll add that as well for Jason Kelce.
See, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I'd rather be Jason Kelce.
Yeah, we all knew you were going to answer that, Mike. we all knew that was going to be your
That
answer.
was really unexpected. I think the more important question here is who won the Super Bowl? I want to be that guy.
Yeah, so you want to be Travis?
Sure.
Who's also
See?
dating Taylor
Hot
Swift.
take.
It's a
That's an
win-win.
afterthought.
Yeah. Oh, Becky wants to be Jason Kelce. She wanted to put her 2 cents in. Thank you, Becky. Nick, how about you?
I don't want to be the guy dating Taylor Swift because I don't need that kind of pressure in my life.
That's so true.
I'll take Jason.
It's got to be so
10.
much more pressure because you lose the Super Bowl, you're not having an album written about you. You know?
That
You-
is true.
You mess
But
up this
he
relationship.
already won the Super Bowl.
No, but I'm saying you're
This
back in the
Super
Super Bowl again.
Oh yeah.
I feel like this is just a lose the situation though, because if I had to lose or win the Super Bowl to my brother,
Yeah.
that's horrible. Like either one would be bad.
But hasn't Jason already won the Super Bowl?
Did he?
Well, when the Eagles won a few years ago,
Yeah.
I think he
Oh.
was on the team. So I think they both have Super Bowl rings.
Oh, then this is perfect.
I
I,
might
would
be
retire
making
right
that
now.
up,
This is enough.
Both brothers get one ring and no one's better than the other. You could just call it a day. You know?
I mean, I was imagining like the family dinner table discussions. Like, why can't you be more like your brother? He has a Super Bowl, huh? Why can't you-
He'd be better. That's a wild statement.
I'd rather be their cousin who works in like accounting. That's actually who I'd rather be.
Or the lesser known third brother. It's like how the Jonas brothers have a random
so
fifth
sad.
brother or fourth
Yeah.
brother
Hey,
that no one cares
don't
about.
hate
Frankie.
on Frankie. Villanova fan.
Yeah.
True, of course.
Villanova's own Frankie Jonas.
Like, how about you take us into the music news coming up here?
All right. First up, we've got Billie Eilish saying that when she went blonde in 2021, it was fun at first, but then her hair turned into a costume, which led to a struggle with her sense of identity. Quote, I completely had no idea who I was, and I just got swallowed up into it. End quote. She has since returned to her black hair, accented with red roots.
Natural.
The Beatles have made a fab return to the Billboard Hot 100 as Now and Then has debuted at number 7. It is the group's 35th top 10, extending their record for the most among groups and their first since 1996. Fun fact, the album was made using AI.
I did know that. Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's the last one with all the Beatles on it.
The only thing that AI can be used for in a good way.
Yeah. And last, we have a black and white leather jacket Michael Jackson wore in a 1984 Pepsi commercial, sold for $306,000 at an auction in London. The jacket, which he donned for part of a series of Pepsi New Generation commercials, is not the one he had on when his hair infamously caught fire on set.
Worthless. Am I right?
Why am I even buying it then?
Exactly.
I want to see how much the one
Yeah, exactly.
where
What's the
his hair
comparison?
infamously caught fire is worth. That's worth $306.
And now let's go to Talleen with the movies coming up this weekend.
Our first movie is The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, PG-13 action-adventure, 64 years before Katniss Everdeen volunteered as tribute. Coriolanus. Thank you. Snow mentors and develops feelings for the female District 12 tribute during the 10th Hunger Games. Tom Blythe, Rachel Zegler, and Viola Davis. Tomato meter 58%. Trolls Band Together, PG animation musical. Poppy discovers that Branch was once part of the boy band Brozone with his brother Floyd, John Dory, Spruce, and Clay. When Floyd is kidnapped, Branch and Poppy embark on a journey to reunite his two other brothers. What about the other two?
This is so confusing. I have no idea what's going on in this movie.
I want to watch this movie so bad now.
Starring Anna Kendrick, Justin Timberlake, and Amy Schumer. 61%. What on earth is that?
I have no
This feels
idea.
like Lord of the Rings. Very similar to
So you heard of the friend zone.
Exact same plot.
It's just a bunch of dudes getting together and walking real far.
Exactly.
It is Lord of the Rings.
With nature themed like names and stuff.
That's
Our
crazy.
next movie is Thanksgiving, rated R, holiday/horror, as in everybody's Thanksgiving. After a Black Friday riot ends in tragedy, a mysterious Thanksgiving-inspired killer terrorizes Plymouth, Massachusetts, the birthplace of the infamous holiday, starring Patrick Dempsey, Addison Rae, and Rick Hoffman.
What? Why is Addison Rae in this?
87%. The bigger question is, why is this the highest tomato rating of the entire movie set that we have right now? This this is the one I'm watching. Forget the Hunger Games. This one looks good. Our last movie is Next Goal Wins, PG-13 sports/comedy. The story of the infamously terrible American Samoa soccer team, known for a brutal 2001 FIFA match they lost 31-0, starring Michael Fassbender, Oscar Knightley, and Kamin Mana. Tomato meter 47%. My question is, isn't FIFA like a video game?
Yeah.
Well, it's also the
FIFA's
name of the league.
organization.
Wow.
Yeah.
Rebranding.
Well, they actually they did. They
There was no rebranding there whatsoever.
They did actually just rebrand this year.
Are you serious?
The video game did. I don't know about the
predicted it.
organization,
See, a lot of people are making my mistake.
but I just want to go back to the fact that McDreamy, Addison Rae,
and some other guy.
Lewis from Suits.
Oh, whoops.
Wait, that's Rick Hoffman?
That's Rick Hoffman.
Are you serious?
Doesn't
movie
that look
sounds
like the best
outstanding.
movie of this
Yes,
entire lineup?
Absolutely. Need to
I
see
also
it.
like that it's like Black Friday riot ends in a tragedy, and my first thought is no one got TVs. It's not death. It's that no one got those deals.
I have to say, this might be the best set of movies we've had on this
I would agree
show
with
this
that.
season.
Definitely. So some fun events coming up on campus this weekend. Today is the Mendel Metal Lecture. Today at 2 p.m. in the Villanova Room in the Connolly Center with Dr. Betty Farrell, Director and Professor, Nursing, Research, and Education, City of Hope National Medical Center. And each night this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, enjoy an amazing showcase from our talented vocalists and a cappella groups here at Villanova. Showcases from our various groups will be taking place in the Topper Theater of the Mullen Center from November 17th through the 19th. Visit mullencenter.org for more information. Also, Camp Movie Night with Barbie is Friday at 8 p.m. at the Connolly Cinema. Also, Ridiculum Improv Comedy Group stand-up show is this Saturday at 6 p.m. in Gary Hall 10A. Nova Dance Friendsgiving is Sunday at 6 p.m. in the Daugherty East Lounge, and the Nova Dance Committee, engagement coordinators, and sidekicks come together for our first annual Nova Dance Friendsgiving potluck. We're excited to bring together members of Nova Dance from all grades for a Thanksgiving feast and hangout. Now, Mike, it's time for the results of the all-important Twitter poll. I was going to say something else, but that was bad. That was a weird hanging there. That was a weird emphasis. That's on me.
All right. So, for those of you that are just joining us, the Twitter poll was, what is your favorite holiday? The options were Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, and New Year's Eve. And Thanksgiving was 25%, New Year's Eve was 25%, and Christmas took it home with 50%.
Nice.
So Christmas is the overall favorite holiday. I also got a text from Becky saying Thanksgiving is the worst holiday, to which I vehemently disagree.
Thank you, Becky. Now it's time for our deep thought of the week. When you focus on the good gets better. Thanks to our executive producer, Mandy Love Ledbetter, and there will be no show next week. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Stay tuned for Swingin' Fridays coming up after this. You've been listening to The Morning Roar. Have a great weekend and a happy Thanksgiving.
Villanova University's WXVU Villanova, serving the main line, including Montgomery, Delaware, and Chester counties at